All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Appreciate everybody being here. If you will, bow with me for a word of prayer before we start. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us another beautiful day, Lord, and thank you for the men and women on this board and their willingness to serve this community and you. And Lord, thank you for the many things you give us that we definitely do not deserve. Lord, we're going to ask you to be over this meeting tonight and let us make wise decisions that's pleasing to the citizen as a whole. And Lord, let us not ever forget the men and women that serve this country so we can have meetings like this. Now lead us down these days to be your will and forgive us for our many sins. For us in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, let's start off with Kurt Clayton.
It's just that 2-year terms up on this statewide mutual aid agreement where the city goes into the mutual aid with Mainland in case we have a disaster or whatever, so we can get our money in here.
Always, all right. We got a motion with Kevin Dale. We do it every 2 years. Second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carried.
I just need to get y'all to sign it.
All right.
I'll get out of your hair. You'll sign here. She signs there, and then the attorney signs there, and she gets a stamp. She stamps. When it gets through with the state, I'll send y'all those copies back. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. All right, we got Shane Crotch. Justin, you doing that?
Yeah.
Variance request.
We're requesting a variance on the lot. It's an empty lot on the corner of Tilden and Polk. It's a little bit smaller than the minimum lot size, but it's actually just a hair larger than the two lots that are beside it in that block that have houses. And we kind of have a verbal agreement with the owner to purchase it if we could actually build something on it. Of course, if we can't, we're not interested in it. Anyway.
Has it been a house on before?
There was a mobile home on it a
Oh,
long time ago.
yeah.
So,
Oh, we told me that. Bill used to have that mobile home. I can't remember the first one. Yeah.
Did it go to, zoning?
Yeah, well, did it go through
No.
zoning? Not at all.
they came.
This
They can't do
particular
it.
one, they're not authorized for substandard sizes.
Okay, so we'd be changing it from what to what?
It's not really changing anything. It's a 6,000 square foot minimum without a variance, and only the board can give a variance.
Okay,
And let me ask you one more question. Is there anything else as far as notice or any other procedural steps that have to be done?
and this is your ward, Kevin Dale?
Yeah.
Do you have any concern?
It's 4850 actual square footage of
And Justin, y'all don't own it yet, but you're
it.
just...
No, we can, like I said, we just have kind of a verbal agreement with the owner.
All right, what's the will of the board? Got a motion by Kevin Dale, second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion?
I got it. Can we, if him not being the owner, can he ask for a variance on somebody else's property?
We've never really done it before, to be honest with you. It's not preferable. Why don't say make the variance conditional on them purchasing within so many days. I mean, normally the request has to be made by the property owner. Did this property owner join in the request?
To be honest with you, Shane kind of ripped me under the bus. Shane's the one handling this, and he's out of town. He asked me to come, so I don't even know the details of that.
So can we do it conditionally?
Do it conditionally based upon the property owner joining in.
So you're amending it, Will? Can we do that?
Kevin Dale make a motion.
Okay.
You gonna amend it to property owner? Yes. You second that, Amy? All right, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks.
Thank you. Patrick Blanchett with TEC. And what this is, he won't be late.
Tim, I'm gonna hand him one of the one for the
Okay.
councilman, one of these handouts, okay?
We've had trouble with our phone system. And, we asked Patrick to do it for his, it's voice over IP. I think Eric and I were talking a month ago, he kind of wished we get it, the county's got it. But I'll let Patrick, he brought the proposal to me, but I knew y'all had questions I couldn't answer them.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me in, Patrick Blanchett with TEC, and Tim and I had a brief meeting, well, we actually had a couple of meetings over the last couple of months. If you'll look on the cover page, it's kind of, I'm gonna try to be as simple as I can be on this to make it understandable. What I did is I took your existing AT&T phone service bill that you have right now already. And if you want to go to the second page behind the little bullet points here, it actually has on the left-hand column what you're currently paying with AT&T, and on the right-hand side is what we have proposed. And there's three different things here. I don't want to confuse you here, but I'll try to be as simple as I can. What we've included is IP services over internet transport at every location within the city. I think it's 11 locations that we did, using some form of transport, whether it be internet transport. In some locations, there's already existing internet services already in place that we can utilize. And in some locations, we would put in our own internet source. If you'll notice also with the emergency services, with it being voice over, we put in a secondary source or a secondary wireless source to give you backup internet access in case you had an outage for your primary source. So they're in the police department, fire departments, there's internet accessibility. And going back to the front page, no upfront cost except for installation of any Ethernet. Well, for each seat, there is an Ethernet outlet that's needed for each phone that you plug your phone into. As far as the actual equipment, there's no upfront cost. The handsets, the actual equipment, there's no upfront cost. After 3 years, the monthly equipment is lowered to 50% of what the actual equipment cost on the initial, with the new term agreement. After 6 years, the monthly equipment charge is eliminated with term agreement at that point. I'm just trying to hit the highlights here so we won't be too quick. One organization to call. So basically what that means is we were responsible for your phone service and your equipment. So that means that there would be, we couldn't punt and say, hey, listen, it's your vendor's responsibility, the equipment's not working. We're responsible for the equipment, plus we're responsible for the phone service as well. Basically, that's in a nutshell. That's some of kind of a quick summation of it. If you notice on the first page, you're paying $2,659.53 with AT&T. There's 37 handsets included with this, as well as the monthly phone service. It's $1,599 for the actual phone service. So there's about $1,059 difference based on the bill that I quoted, just for the equipment and the service. And then, of course, when you add the transport, you go to the second page, it's $2659.53, obviously, just for the phone service as well. With the transport, it comes up to $2788.75. But you're already paying, in addition to what you're paying with AT&T, you're paying already additionally for internet access to other avenues. So you're going to be able to get the phone service and many of the internet sources as cheap as you're already paying for the phone service already, if that makes any sense at all. The other one, Tim, and the only difference is and I didn't want to confuse you guys, is the last source. The last page, you can see it's a little more for the internet access. The reason why it includes fiber at City Hall versus the current internet source you're using now. That's the only difference is. So it would give you a little better internet source at City Hall versus what you have already.
How much are we paying now for internet through AT&T? I mean, it's not on this page, but everything.
I have no idea. All that your city clerk gave me was a copy of your invoice. I can show you what you're paying if you need to. Where I got that $2,600 and what was it, $2,659.53. You can show to the attorney. Here's what you're paying right now, $2,659. That's just telephone alone. That does not include your internet. So you're getting your internet product and your voice product. So basically what you already paid. And you get a new phone system to boot. This system allows you to interconnect from each department. So, I mean, City Hall can interconnect with Park and Rec, they can interconnect with Street Department, they can interconnect with any department within the city.
Do we have internet? I mean, obviously we're paying something for internet now, but it's not on here.
I don't think they asked for that. Susan gathered all that information.
You don't have any other questions, I'll be glad to try to answer. Or I've got someone, there he is right there. This guy is definitely a little more versed in some of what our product does, but I'll be glad to answer any
Well, it's
questions.
hard for me to tell how much of a savings it's gonna be without knowing what we're paying for internet now and what.
If you're
what
looking
we're
at
getting.
cost savings, it's pretty much a wash as far as savings is concerned. But here's the thing, instead of an upfront investment on putting in a new phone system, there's no upfront investment in putting that phone system in place. So the first thing is you're not gonna have to buy a phone system up front. This price includes your equipment plus your service all in one whack.
It will have the voice over IP.
It is voice over IP, yes, sir. Again, your 911 sources have a backup source in case you have an internet outage.
And y'all have an office here? I mean, where's your service?
Jackson is where we're
In
headed.
Jackson.
The pass from the phone, so.
I live here locally, I live in Pontotoc, yes, sir.
Mr. Blanchett, are you proposing that the hardwire system be replaced with a system that's based on the internet?
Every location is IP services, yes. Now, in a number of these locations, we're still keeping a hard line in.
And you will
There's-
in this instance?
And not all locations, but some locations are still gonna have a hard line because we're gonna utilize your fax machine over copper.
Or will you provide that in this instance to the city of New Albany?
To the city of New Albany,
To the city to whom you're making this proposal?
the city, I can go through locations and show you, that matter of fact,
Or just
go-
a general statement, will everybody still have a landline hardwired backup?
almost all of them did. There was about 2 or 3 that didn't, like your convention center or civic center did not. I think the Park and Rec Center did not.
What basic ISP will you be using?
It'll be a variety. We're going to utilize our own in some instances. In some instances, there are some where there's like already existing internet sources in place. The city clerk and I talked about. There's a variety of locations. Like there's some cable that we can utilize this over in some of your locations.
So you'll be using many different ISPs?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, actually, it would be 3. There is your cable company, there's C-Spire, where your power department's at, that we quoted, and then, of course, our own service and about 6 of them.
In future, would it be only those 3 ISPs that you would use?
That would be dependent upon you guys. I mean, whatever transport you want to use.
But you
That's
are
it.
on at each location.
We
if you
can.
want to, but you
That's
already
all I
have.
need. Thanks.
I want to clarify a question you asked about, you said a landline backup. Can you clarify what you're asking on that?
Yes?
At each location? What do you mean by
Yeah,
a landline?
I think
backup?
Mr. Blanchard answered that. There will be at some hardwire at some, but not at all. Is that?
That is correct.
And emergency services will have hardwire? Fire department, PD?
Well, technically.
Emergency services are over IP, but we're doing a wireless backup at both the fire department and the police department, so they will have a contingency plan in place for both of them.
That answers my question. Thank
And
you.
if there are other locations you want to put a contingency plan in, we can do that. But those two are obviously, we won't even do it without that.
That answers my question. Thank you.
I have a quick comment. Your bid here is based on 36 months.
Yes, sir.
And unless there's some specific statutory authority which I'm not aware of, this board can't bond the next board. That's not quite 36 months, but it's very close. It's like 33. The chance that the board will come in and want to change it in the first 3 months is virtually zero. I just want you to be aware of that.
That would be a question for him.
I didn't understand the question.
He basically said that they're under the next,
By law,
yeah.
the general rule is that this board cannot bind the next board to contracts unless there's some specific
Right, that's
authority.
a state law, actually.
Yeah, right.
Right, in our terms and conditions, it states that wherever state law prevails, we abide by state law.
Well, I just wanted to point out to you, your 36-month term is just slightly beyond our ability.
We actually serve a lot of municipalities, and we go through that very same thing.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
On all the other law enforcement agencies, because we're pretty much in a situation where NCIC, and we have two different terminals, we run for NCIC both here in light, gas, and water. And pretty much AT&T that's kind of our sole source, and they kind of keep it that way from
Those
DPS.
circuits would usually have to stay in place because they have a contract specifically to do that. I think C-Spire won the contract recently, but it's been contested. But those circuits would actually have to stay with AT&T.
So both those terminals, or I guess it's one line is split down to two, we'd have to keep those AT&T lines.
Yeah, and usually those are over a T1.
They are. We actually, Tim and I looked at that bill.
Yeah, those would have to be in place.
Yeah, we're not even involved in that.
Gotcha.
What speed is your internet service?
They're all basically going to be the same that you're already utilizing, because where we propose internet source, with the exception of City Hall. You are utilizing UVerse there, so I have proposed UVerse, basically a UVerse resale, or I proposed fiber, which is a 10 by 10 for City Hall. I do know your power department is working with a C-Spire fiber circuit, which I did not. I can't remember, we didn't do a speed test, I'm sure it's probably significantly better. Yes. Any other questions?
Yes, not. Anybody got anything else?
So Tim, you've been talking to him about this for a couple of months, and do you have an opinion?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gotten so hard to deal with. Just don't need to go in media, but with AT&T, or Susan, or Frankie, or somebody down there every month, spending 2 or 3 hours trying to correct the bill that's printed wrong or something. And we had talked a little bit about it, and Eric and I were talking, and probably 2 months ago, and he said, man, I wish we had that voice over IP here. And then Bill and I talked a little, and they would like to upgrade theirs, so. I mean, I like the idea, and I've known Pat a long time and trust him. But I know the county's going to voice over IP, and they like it. So my opinion is we should change. I mean, we should do something different than we're doing now.
I think you guys are currently using what's called Centrex, which is extremely old, and it's only been grandfathered in through AT&T for a limited time, so they're going to force you to change at one point or another anyway. By using the type of system we're talking about, it's going to bring you basically to the modern age. You ever see the commercials where you're on a conference call and you got to get up and go and you can transfer it to your cell phone? You would have that feature. You'd be able to log in and look at your call logs and all of the features of a hosted VoIP system. You would get all those features with this. So basically, when you do, you'll get a completely new phone system.
Yeah, well, we need new phones, because the ones we got are at least 10 years old, and maybe older than that.
Well, and other than the Ethernet installation possibilities, and we don't know if you're going to need me, but there's no upfront cost. Well, there are, but you can look through the quote It actually summarizes it.
You won't be paying for the phone system. That's
Yes.
a kind of a lease deal, but
Yeah.
the upfront cost would be just installation, trying to get everything prepared and ready for the equipment to come in, which would be having a Category 5E or better network cables. Well, you'll need those. So there's some certain criteria where we'd have to run a site survey to come in and completely assess each of the locations to give you an exact cost.
How long is this quote good for?
Typically it's 30 days, but with a situation like this, we extend it.
I do have one question. I'm not 100% sure whether we're required to get a second bid. I lean towards thinking we don't because it's primarily a service. But I don't know if I can answer that question today.
Okay.
Just another point to your point, with TC, we're very, we like to hold our customers' hands, make sure that you guys are taken care of. That's why we always assign one rep to your account. So when you don't have problems or if there's any issues with billing or like that, you have one person to deal with it. And we maintain that relationship and you guys can call us anytime. So.
Good.
I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll discuss it, we'll let you know.
Okay, Tim, appreciate it.
And then we need Ray to find out
Okay.
what he needs to find out.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay. Terry Young, looks like you're next.
I'll be quick. A few months ago, I came before y'all in reference to a land donation that my father and our family were interested in doing. They're behind Elegave and Tractor Supply. At that time, I went over the details of it with you, the values and the acreage and all of that. And I had mentioned in that meeting that it was kind of our hope that we could get a decision out of y'all by the end of the year. And what I wanted to talk to you about today was that we are trying to get the property surveyed, the exact piece that we're talking about getting donated. And there are a lot of adjoining pieces that we have to get legal descriptions on. And it's something that's going to cost us several $1,000s, and we're willing to do that. But what we would like to see, once we get that done, and it's going to take several weeks to get done, is that by the end of the year, if it would be possible to get y'all, if we didn't have all our ducks in a row and everything settled, to at least possibly be able to approve accepting it on a contingency basis based off of the appraisal amount coming in at a set amount that we set as kind of a floor. And that's something that we could discuss, individually with y'all. The value that we estimated, and again, we feel we're being conservative in this, was anywhere from $1.1 to $1.9 million. So our thought was, since it's taken a little longer for us to get the survey and the descriptions done, and just being busy on our end, that since it is getting close to the end of the year, that if we get to the end of the year and see that we don't have an appraisal back and those descriptions aren't done, if y'all will be willing at that time to possibly give us some direction and say, yes, we'll take it if the value comes up to at least X amount of dollars. And that way we kind of just know which direction we're going. Like I said, we're working on master planning that whole piece of property, and the engineering and layout work that we have done has been quoted at $62,000 to us, and it's really a reasonable price. There's a ton of artwork and master planning type digital media, videos and stuff like that they're going to produce for that property for us to use as marketing. And we're definitely wanting to try and move forward with that and push hard on it right after the first of the year. And since we've been busy in the last few months and a little behind where I wanted to be, I just wanted to ask y'all if that was something that y'all thought y'all might be willing to do, approve accepting it on a conditional basis based off the appraisal amount being at least that 1.1, and or whatever number we come up with that would make y'all feel comfortable. But that's really all I had. Just wanted to kind of let y'all know that we haven't forgot about it. We've just been really busy and trying to get y'all the information y'all need. But at the same time, I know what we're working on now is going to be done and over in December, and we're going to hit the ground running in January, pushing that project. And we just kind of like to know that y'all are either interested or not interested. That's really all I have.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
So anybody here for Tory Jones? Tory Jones out there? Okay.
No.
All right, let's move to departmental business. You have any light, gas, and water, please? Lead off.
If I guess the first thing we'll do is skip down and get it to item I. There are some other things there related to us that we'll get to, I guess, as we get to that part of the agenda, but I'd like to go ahead and do I in this portion if possible. That's where we took bids on the gas expansion project in Marshall County. I guess we opened those a couple of weeks ago. We had 5 bidders. It's divided into 3 parts, and the low bidder, when you summarized all 3 parts, was UBank Construction out of Boonville. It's $1,395,850 was their bid. Next lowest bid was $1.465 million. So it felt good about the bid and feel good about the company, and would like permission to award that bid to UBank Construction. We did send out a letter to all the companies, I guess Monday, just to let them know that was our intent, and just in case somebody had a comment or had any feedback on it, we gave them a few days to give us a comment back on it. But I guess what we'd like to do is get you to approve us awarding that contract, contingent on us, really not having any kind of comments back on it by next Monday, I think, right? I guess that would.
What'd you say that price was?
1,395,850.
Got a motion by Johnny, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
On those same lines regarding that project, we'd also like to advertise for, I guess, a fourth part of that project is to do some service line work for that 50,000 linear feet of service line work we'd like to advertise for along the project.
Got a motion by Keith, do I have a second? Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Staying with the gas department again. It's probably 2 or 3 years ago, we attempted to buy a trencher for the gas department. Anyway, the bid just didn't work out very good, so we dropped it. But we are in need of a new trencher, and we'd like to advertise for that.
Motion by Keith, second by Kevin Dale. Motion by Will, second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And we would also like to hire an employee in the gas department, Tony Carter, is the gentleman's name.
Motion by Amy, second by Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
On our water system, we received notice just in the last 2 days that we were awarded the grant to extend the system out Highway 348. There's about 30 customers to pick up out there. So it's quite an expensive project, and it just wouldn't work without the grant money. So I guess the county actually applied for the grant, and we'll be the one doing the work. So hopefully that will be able to get off the ground in the not too distant future. So happy to hear about that. Just kind of along the lines on the water system in general, our in-house crews have replaced quite a bit of smaller mains in the older part of downtown, several hundred linear feet actually of galvanized line. These are some areas that have had just poor water quality. We're continuing to have to go there with dirty water towels, or just where the water can't keep chlorine levels up. So there's several hundred feet of pipe that we've already changed out, and we're putting together a project on the north side. I think it's on Garfield Street. There's actually several blocks over there. We've got people that are, when these calls come in, we're trying to, I guess, do the analysis to find out, where the bad pipe is, what needs to be replaced. So there's probably 3 or 4 blocks over there we're going to try to replace this year. It's going to be about a $40,000 project, and I'll talk to y'all about that. I want to make sure we know how we're going to pay for it. I think we can get that worked out. Hopefully we'll be doing that later this year. And just in general, the water system, again, I hate to say too much about it, knock on wood, but our dirty water calls this year have been way down. We changed the way that we did our flushing program, and we've changed some of our phosphates in the treatment, and we think that's, is paying dividends for us. We can all change tomorrow. So far, it's been a much better year. We've had a lot fewer calls, and again, we're trying to stay on top of the people calling. We're trying to get out the areas that we know where we're having issues. We try to stay out there and keep those flushed out before it gets to be a problem. So anyway, so far I've been real pleased with how the year has gone.
And Scotty's been on top of it.
Yeah, he has. He's done a really good job with it. And I think that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Bill.
Those lines that you're gonna replace over there on the north side, are we gonna have to dig the streets up for that?
Some of it will be in the street, Johnny. We can bore some of it, and we're gonna try to get some in the grass plot, but some will be in the street. So again, as part of that project, I'm not sure what the condition of that street right now, but if it's something that I don't think it's been recently done, but if it's something we need to see about repairing it, we do, we'll factor that into the project cost.
Which part of our building is it?
Goodness, I wish I didn't bring the blocks with me.
That's okay.
I can get those pulled together and give them to you. I'll email you the general area.
Okay.
I'd like to say, Bill, I appreciate the hard work you put in on the gas line project in Orange County. So, long deal for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's going to pay off for the city in the long run.
Thank you for everything, Bill.
Okay, great. Thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, community development.
Alright, so, Billy G's off in San Antonio for a bike tours and conference. Hopefully she'll have some good stuff to bring back. Bob Barber was supposed to speak today, but I think there was a conflict. You may or may not know about that. I guess we're just trucking along. We've got all of our reports from the past month of work, and we've got our Holiday Open House coming up on Sunday, our Christmas parade, the Albany Union County Christmas Parade on the 26th of November, and the tree lighting on the 29th of November. And that's really all I have to report. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them.
What time is the Christmas parade, Tracy?
6 o'clock. And we're gonna take a little bit different route. Instead of having traffic come down King Street and up into the library, we're gonna actually come off of Main and go into, just because I didn't know where the project over there would be as far as the closing of the road and stuff, we didn't want to have any conflict at the last minute, so. But I feel like we're under control.
All right, thank you. Police department, chief, you got anything?
Mayor, I don't have anything.
Thank you, sir. Fire department, you got anything, Chief Coker?
No, sir.
Thank you. Building inspector, Eric, you got a list, what's up?
Yes, sir. Emailed the monthly report to y'all. The zoning meeting, we had a request from Billy Powell at 202 Highway 15 South to rezone from R2 to C2. It was approved by the zoning board. And we need to set a public hearing for the December the 4th meeting.
For the rezone? I have a motion to set the hearing. Got a motion by Key, second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
We also had a request from excuse me, Jamie Medea at 507 Highland for a conditional permitted use of a rear dwelling. It was approved by the zoning board. And we had a request from Grace Point Church of God for variance in directional signage, which it was denied by the zoning board, and they would like to appeal it on the December the 4th meeting.
All their notice is good.
Not yet. How many days do you want?
It's not something we have to set for hearing, is it, this time?
I think he just has to show up.
Okay.
Appeal it to us.
What do they want? Is that the one on South Central?
Yes, they're wanting to put a directional sign down at the I-22 Central, down there on that fence. I don't know how you describe. Greg Robbins owns that.
Yeah,
that land down there. And ordinance calls for a 2x2 sign, directional sign. And he was wanting a 3x8 or a 5x8 sign. And they denied it.
So you want to put the directional sign down on Greg's property to make it larger than the ordinance?
Make it larger than the ordinance states.
All right.
We don't have the notice appeal yet, just make sure that if it's filed, we're gonna have the hearing, he said we do give them written notice of the date, time, and place of the hearing.
We had a continuation here. Is it on the agenda?
Yeah. You talking about, Rosewood or the?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1114. Anybody here concerning 1114 Rosewood Drive? All right, carry on.
I'd like to move forward and go ahead with the condemnation process on it. Did y'all see pictures last time, or y'all need to see them?
I saw
Got a
it.
motion by Johnny to have a second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's it.
What about number 6?
Hold on, let me talk to you there. That you didn't say, you may have to have a second vote, but you're also wanting the liberty to demolish it in 30 days?
Yes.
All right. So he needs, we usually put it in one motion, but he also needs a motion to give him approval to demolish after 30 days if they have not done so.
So motion by Johnny and Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. All right, let's go general city business. Item A is approval or correction of claims docket for October 2018. Motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B is to approve September 11th, 2018 meeting minutes. Motion by Johnny, to have a second. Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C is approve October 2nd, 2018 minutes. Motion by Keith, to have a second. Kevin Dale. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Have no update on what Railroad Bridge repair, Snyder Street, Starling Avenue, Highway 30 West traffic light. Keith and Johnny and I met with MDOT, when was it, 2 weeks ago? About 2 weeks ago. Showed us their proposal. I thought they were gonna have a written report in there, the picture of it all by now, but they don't, we haven't got it yet. So I guess we'll wait on that. Basically, it's gonna be to line up those 2 streets and put a turn lane in. But no money. So, what their hope is, you know, they did say, we don't know how many people's gonna bet on sports. That's what they're hoping, is out of that money, they can get some to do our projects. That, and they're gonna show 2 options, a roundabout and a kind of a teardrop on both ends of 22. They still don't want to do a roundabout coming off of Colder Drive. They say it's just not enough room. So when we get that, we'll have it here. But I thought she said they would have a meeting, but the report, and then they also said there's a possibility of some federal money coming down, and they just want to be ready, because usually when that federal money comes down, you got to have what they call shovel-ready projects. So they want to have that ready for. And I missed a bunch, I'm sure.
Basically redone Highway 30 from 178 all the way to Lunsford Drive.
And this is in response to many years of us asking them for help, yeah.
And they admitted that was on top of their list priority-wise, but they just hadn't had any money.
Did they tell us where in priority-wise we are?
Number 3.
Still 3? Okay.
Apparently they don't have any money to do the first 2, so I don't know.
first two are Highway 15, two different Highway 15 projects.
No, that's both on 15. All right. So buildings and building regulations, section 7-246, which is a notice by landlord of present or prospective occupancy, ordinance amended, chapter 7.
And I have
Here.
that. I've got,
Oh, you
I've
got
got it. I'm introducing it,
Okay. All right.
as the amendment. Do I need to read it or anything? Or?
No, just offered in writing for Frankie, so she'll have it available for
Okay, so
anyone to see.
here it is.
And what is the number of that one? 72465.
Yeah.
It's not a zoning, so we don't have separate public hearings, we just have to accept it today, vote on it, and letter that.
Yeah, do we need a motion to accept it?
We usually do, don't really, I don't think you have to, but it's fine.
All right. Need a motion by Amy to accept it, have a second. Second by Johnny, any other questions or discussion? Basically, what it's saying that, we keep up with them a little better. And they can't get the power turned on until get an inspection. And Bill and I talked a little bit about how to make that happen. We've got 2 or 3 ideas, but we'll make it happen some way. And with Eric's help. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I think the problem is that Eric, a lot of them hadn't been registered.
Well, and then they hadn't been getting an inspector before the power was put in the, we
Yeah.
put its name. And it's really hard for light, gas, and water to keep up with it, but,
Yeah.
we get a better job doing it if we get this in place.
Okay. Okay, item G is a resolution sale and award of DOU bonds, Series 218 for gas project. Bill?
Mayor, and we have a guest here with us today, Mr. Brad Davis with Jones Walker. They're our bond attorneys. Again, these are for the general obligation bonds for our gas extension project in the amount of $3 million. We received bids, and I guess this is for the institution, the financial group that's going to buy the bonds. They're the ones going to send the money to us, and then I guess they'll probably turn around and sell them to other groups. But anyway, this will be the group that we'll be dealing with to pay the money back to in layman's terms. We had 3 conforming bids that were submitted today. The low bid is from FTN Financial Capital Markets in Memphis. This is a branch of First Tennessee Bank. It was for 3.94% interest rate. And that's over, it's a 20-year bond. And I think that their interest rates vary, I think theirs varied by year the way they're all of them kind of pose a different way. That the interest is going to be, I guess, accrued. But I guess the effective rate at the end of the day for their bid was 3.94%. Duncan Williams was the next low bidder at 4.07, and Cruz and Associates out of Little Rock, Arkansas was the third, 4.38. And again, we had another bid that did not conform to state law, so we couldn't accept it. It was higher than any of these as well. Brad, is there anything you'd like to say about this, or
no?
any questions?
Well, I certainly have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Yeah, and we're really pleased with this interest rate, because I guess when we first started talking about the project, we were looking at maybe almost 5% the way we were first going to go with it. And I think Reagan,
I took a rough estimate of the interest over the project, and at 5% it would have been about 1.75 million. This one it was slightly over $400,000 less, so that's a significant cut under expected interest cost.
yeah, we were pleased with the results on this.
Anybody got any questions? All right. We need to accept that?
Yes, get the motion to accept.
I need a motion to accept it. Kevin, Dan, Will. Should get that, Frankie. Kevin, Dan made a motion, Will say. Any other question or discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay, that's all, Bill?
Yes, it's all for the.
There's 2 more bond resolutions.
Let's skip down and do the rest.
Yeah, let's do
They
that.
both have to do with him, so.
Okay.
It was James at the first one.
Jay, yeah, looks like first.
Ray, we'll make you help me.
All right, that one is the note. These are both on
They're both on the sewer, the
they're both
USDA
on
sewer
the water
project.
sewer, yeah, USDA project.
Again, it says water sewer, this is strictly sewer. I think that's just a terminology thing that
Yeah.
they typically use.
This one is where we're approving, seeking interim financing. The USDA projects, they don't fund until near the end, so you have to have basically a construction loan. We don't have that lined up with a person, we're not approving a specific person, but we don't have to come back and do another approval. Once we approve, then they can go find interim financing and financing pending the final bond. Is that all correct, Brad?
That's right. Yes, the resolution doesn't name a particular bank or financial institution. It just, the board giving the mayor and the clerk and Bill and Reagan authority to go out and get a package together that makes sense and come back and make sure it's fair and seems right. But you have to come back for another board meeting if USDA starts wanting to move fast for some reason.
Now, we need permission to seek
Interim financing.
So we have a motion by Johnny, I have a second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And the next one's K, I guess, Bill.
Yes.
That's on the same project, and that one, we previously did a motion, I did a resolution stating our intent to issue a bond for that water sewer project, which is nearly an $8 million bond. And this is the one where we've already now published and we're getting approval to saying that we are actually authorizing an issuance.
Yeah, there was a waiting period there. There was any comment or protest or anything?
Close the protest period. There will be another resolution on that project later where we actually approve the USDA bond, but this is like the second part of the two initial resolutions.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, I guess, the final bond after interim finance is over, after we get, I guess MDA, once they say, here's your $6 million.
Well, I guess it'll be USDA. That'll do it.
What did I say,
MDA.
Yeah.
Brad, is all that accurate?
That's right. So really what this resolution says is that you, after, as Reagan said, you published the notice in the newspaper 3 times over the past month, and that any citizen who had an opportunity to want to have a comment about it has had opportunity to do so, and having seen no formal protest, then the city can close this protest period, and then, as Reagan also said, there'll be a later resolution. USDA has to approve a lot of stuff. As y'all have experienced, there's a lot of process, so we have sent to them some draft bond resolutions, and once they come back and tell the city that you're approved to go forward, you can do so. But in the interim, you want to close out your protest period and just wait for the USDA to come back and say you've got the second or third green light you'll get.
Okay. Have a motion by Amy, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
That's all for us.
I think that's all for us.
Thank
We had Brad talk about what.
Okay, all right, let's go back up to H. And I think I've talked to everybody about this, but they're starting, as you can tell, they started digging out there on Park Plaza today, but we need approval to move forward with the approved bid opening for New Island. Who was, you want to fill us in on that, Brett?
APAC was a little better.
Better with APAC. We got 2 bids.
2 bids.
So I think we need permission to approve APAC.
That's right.
He's already started. That's how much for it?
Their bid was $640 and change. I probably need to get approval. You know, we talked about taking a couple blocks out Central. We bid it from Main Street to the MDOT right way on the south end. And I think we're gonna cut out a couple blocks and start at Oak Street. Go to the MDOT.
What was the second bid?
Second bidder was Rutledge Construction, and they were quite a bit.
731, I know what that says.
That was for the whole thing, without taking it out, or is it?
Yes, that was for the whole thing.
Take it out, 40,000.
Right.
For South Central and Park Plaza.
I talked to Kevin Dale, he said his intent to start with was from Oak down. So we just took over 2 apples for 40,000.
And that's both, that's part,
That's both of them.
And by taking those 2 blocks out, that would put a project cost, construction cost right at 600,000.
Oak down to what?
Right right away on 22, then all of Park Plaza.
Got it.
I need a motion to approve that. A motion by Kevin Dale, have a second. Second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any motion carried.
So that is coming from the state money?
500,000, and we'll take 100 out of free improvement. Okay.
If we could, Mayor, if we could get the paper to type something on that for the public.
Let them know, try to avoid that.
Yeah, avoid it if at all possible.
We've already published something.
It's gonna be in the paper.
We posted something back last week.
Okay, let's go back up to the first J on the agenda, accept oath of office for Polly Cawthorpe for a part-time municipal clerk. They've already administered the oath, but we got to approve, to accept. Got a motion by Will, to have a second. Second by Amy. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, we're down to the hill now. All right. Okay, let's go to item L. Let's do, funny step out of this. Yeah, I'm gonna recuse myself on item L because I have a son that works for S&A, so we're gonna let my recuse myself. You get all of this and they while I'm out, John. We'll make sure. Yeah.
Okay, item L is to, need a motion to approve request for cash number 9 for SMA project $7,500. Motion by Will, second by KD. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, and then there's another one. It's, request number 6 for $7,500 for SMA project as well. Have a motion for that.
So moved.
Amy, make a motion to have a second.
Second.
Will, make a second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, we're at item N. All right. Let's ask, item N is approved request for cash, number 5, for Coulter Drive for $65,899.07 for Pittman Construction. So, got a motion by John, have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, then we do is there's one Michael Pittman's Construction for $119,609.39. We request the cash and then we pay them. Got a motion by Amy, have a second? Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 2, or P, is approval of payment request number 2 for Coulter Drive Engineering Solutions for $14,878.50. So motion by Kevin Dale, second by Keith. Any other question or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So we
got a running total what that project's costing, and is it gonna go over what we had originally said, or?
Right now, we're right around budget. We haven't had any major overruns or unexpected items come up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, item Q is to consider executive session for
Hey, Mr.
Real
Mayor,
estate.
was Shirley Foster on the agenda?
no.
Okay.
I called,
We can have her though.
I called twice
Call me.
down here.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, get up here and state your piece then. I think everybody up here agrees with you, probably.
I don't know. I hope so. I've been trying for 7 years. Okay, I'm Shirley Shorter, Foster. And I haven't seen you since we was in school, Mr. Johnny. I don't know if you remember me, but I didn't know you were.
Well, I didn't recognize you, but yeah, I remember.
Went to school together. But anyway, I'm on 706 Parish, and I have been trying, I've been there, this is going on 10 years. And I have been trying for 7 years to get that lot cleaned up, the two houses. I have a business there, which is Martina's Hair Fashion. And I've been calling and trying to get it, but I've been given a runaround on it. So,
The two lots, Eric, isn't that, or the two, is that Jenny, whoever she goes by?
I didn't catch the address where she lives.
706 Parish is where Martina's Hair Fashion is.
Yes, it is.
So the two were Jenny, what's she go by? King?
That's what I know about.
Y'all remember? Huh? Yeah. She's been up here before about her.
Well, I called, but this is my, I want to put a
No, I
face of me, of Jenny.
Jenny, yeah, we've had her
I
up
want to put a
here.
face to who I am.
Yeah.
And I've been there trying to get it cleaned up, and I have been given the runaround that one of the houses was grandfathered in. Nobody has lived in that house for years. So,
Down in Florida.
something need to be done. So what will be done?
Well, Eric, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, we've sent many cleanup letters, and she cleaned up a little and then quit, and she keeps saying she's going to, but I can move forward with something else if y'all agree.
I agree. Like condemnation?
Yeah, on the house that is vacant, and then that'll get that out of the way, and then we can just keep moving forward.
Is the other lot vacant? Or is it
She has a
house?
lot behind that 500 Clark or 501 Clark, whatever it is, that is vacant. It had a house on it, maybe it burned or something, I don't know what happened it a long time ago.
All right, well, that's what we want to do, send her a letter and tell her we're fixing it.
Have y'all seen that property?
I've seen it several times, there used to be a policeman.
Those three lots come up under three different property owners' names. One of them is Jenny King, but then there's a Collins Graham and a Shirley Foster. So the one on the corner comes up under Collins Graham.
Yeah, I brought pictures up here before.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've had her up here.
Problem, the building, or a one-time cleanup type situation, or is it both?
It's everything.
Well, we have a vacant house right there by me that was grandfathered in. That's when I first started calling.
Whose is that?
Those whose houses belongs to Colin Graham until something happened with Miss Jeannie, and I don't know, and so she has really got the place corroded. It's just in a mess. And if you can't go and look at it, you would not want to.
Yeah, it's
have
bad.
a business
There's
or
no
live
doubt.
beside
Yeah.
that area. So it's been awfully nice.
Do we need to make a motion?
We done got a motion from Kevin Dale, a second from Johnny, to send out the letter.
For condemnation.
Yeah, for condemnation.
Just remember that if mowing's a part of it, you have to specifically request a right of way entry to be able to go in multiple times.
Okay. A lot of it's gonna be cleanup of junk.
Can that house not be torn down?
Yeah, that's part of it. I just want to
The
make sure.
White House, the vacant house, it can be, but now the house she lives in, it's not in the state of condemning.
So it needs cleaning up.
Clean up, yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did we vote on that? All in favor?
Oh, sorry, aye.
Okay, any opposed? Kevin done made the motion, got a second. You know where, we know where it's on down
Back
there.
there.
Yeah, we're on page.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure good at that, sure maybe.
All right, item Q is consider executive session for real estate transaction.
Bill, mine's